Good? All right. Good evening, Hampstead. Tonight is Tuesday, January 9th, 2024, for the public hearing on proposed 2024 to 2025 budget with review of the 2024 warrant and special meeting. Go ahead and call this meeting to order. And Melissa, would you take the roll call, please?
Yes. Jason Giard?
Here.
Aaron Pellegrini? Here. David Smith?
Here.
Andy Cabarrus?
Here.
Carl Hubner? Here. Thank you. And also seated at the board table is CFO and Business Administrator Jeff Dowd.
All right. Thank you very much. For those viewing from home, all material that we're reviewing today and tonight is available on our website. You can locate it on the district's web page and clicking on the 24 to 25 budget quick link for access. Again, all hearing presentation and supplemental financial report materials are available. And tonight we will go through, Mr. Dowd, are you going to be presenting this entire? Thank you. So if you're on the home page, as Mr. Dowd just showed, the link to 24-25 budget and all information as you scroll down from when we started reviewing the budget back a few months ago, all materials are located on this website. Thank you, Mr. Dowd. You know. All right. There we go. All right, so tonight there are 4 parts. We will go into the introduction of the district and the board. We'll do a presentation of the warrant, do a public hearing on the budget, and lastly, review all additional warrant articles. And if we can skip ahead there, Mr. Dowd, to page, slide 3. Next slide. All right, so as those may know, we do have 5 board members. Aaron Pellegrini to my left, who is the vice chair. Jason Giard to the left of Aaron. Let me see if Joe can fix that. Andy Cabarrus to the right of me, Carl Hubner to the right of Andy, and myself, David Smith, as chair. Again, CFO and Business Administrator Jeff Dowd is here, as well as the amazing school board clerk, Melissa Post. All right. District profile, just a reminder. Hampstead School District is located in Hampstead, New Hampshire, includes 2 schools, the Hampstead Central School and the middle school. Currently, there's about 829 students in grades pre-K through 8th grade, and there are 380 students in grades 9 through 12 who are tuitioned to the Pinkerton Academy in Derry. Pinkerton Academy is a public academy and the designated school of record for high school and students in Hampstead. Next slide. Thank you. Our mission here that the board has come up with is the mission of Hampstead School District is to provide challenging education experiences that prepare all students to succeed to their individual potential in a changing world. Just a review at a high level of what school board goals are for this past year is to improve digital literacy, to focus on facility improvements, have the appreciation of diversity and inclusivity in our education, to follow the strategic plan that has been in effect for the last couple of years, to prepare a budget as good data financial stewards. We make sure we use our resources with attention to grant funding in effective ways. We come up in and support innovative practices for our students, as well as invest in outdoor and community-based learning. We're now going to move on to the presentation of the warrant, which is part 2 of the discussion. 2024 School District Warrant. So the first session of the annual meeting, otherwise known as the deliberative, you are hereby notified to meet at the Hampstead Middle School on 28 School Street, Hampstead, New Hampshire, on Tuesday, the 6th of February, 2024 at 7 p.m. This session shall consist of explanation, discussion, and debate of warrant articles numbers 2 through 5. Warrant articles may be amended subject to the following limitations. A, Warrant articles whose wording is prescribed by law shall not be amended. B, warrant articles that are amended shall be placed on the official ballot for a final vote on the main motion as amended. And C, no warrant article shall be amended to eliminate the subject matter of the article. An amendment that changes the dollar amount of an appropriation in a warrant article does not violate this provision. The second session of the annual meeting, otherwise known as the voting day, voting on warrant articles numbers 1 through 5 will be conducted by official ballot to be held in conjunction with town meeting voting to be held on Tuesday, the 12th day of March, 2024, at the Hampstead Middle School, 28 School Street, Hampstead, New Hampshire. Polls will be open from 8 a.m. and remain open until 8 p.m. Article 1, election of officers. We have 2 board members' terms. Each are 3-year terms. The filing period is for candidates January 24th through February 2nd at the superintendent's office. The office is located at 20 Mary E. Clark Drive, number 10, Hampstead, New Hampshire. Part 3, public hearing on the budget. Public hearing is now open. Article 2, the operating budget. Shall the voters of Hampstead School District raise and appropriate as an operating budget, not including appropriations by special warrant articles and other appropriations voted separately, the amount set forth on the budget posted with a warrant for the purposes set forth therein, totaling $36,379,939. Should this article be defeated, the operating budget shall be $36,144,676, which is the same as last year, with certain adjustments required by previous action of the Hampstead School District or by law, or the governing body may hold one special meeting in accordance with RSA 4013, 10, and 16 to take up the issue of revised operating budget only. Note, warrant Article 2, the operating budget, does not include appropriations proposed under any other warrant articles. A majority vote is required. We're now going to go into providing an overview of the budget. Make sure we're on this. Okay. So we're going to go over what are the drivers and projected enrollments of the budget, any budget changes by department. We will highlight the increases and decreases as compared to last year. We'll discuss staffing, an overall budget proposal, and as well as provide an overview of the default budget. So the budget drivers for 2024-2025 as listed. Salaries, $590,857. Group insurance, $1,009,269. Social Security, $32,412. Employee retirement decreased by $46,116. Teacher retirement increased $237,128. Professional services, $342,912. Repair and maintenance down $167,168, and transportation up $463,905. Continued drivers, tuition up $422,031, travel workshops decreased $56,963, supplies $27,265, books and info resources down $13,915, equipment $91,440, fund transfers down $1.273 million, all other down $9,000. Total major factors is an increase of $1.65 million over the previous year. Now go over into the projected enrollments that have been used for budgeting. Central School, pre-K through 5, projected is 475 students, up 4. Middle School, grades 5 through 8, projected 354, a difference of 11 more students. Pinkerton, grades 9 through 12, projected 376 with a difference of 4 additional students, which means we have a total increase, total wide enrollment, 1,210 students, increase of 12 students. Pinkerton's tuition rate for 2024-2025 will be $16,308, or an increase of approximately 5.8%. The resource program will have a tuition of $9,285, passes $24,415, and ACT $37,184. Overall budget proposal, again, is $36,379,939. Current budget for the current school year is $34,658,892. The difference between that, our current budget and the proposed budget, is $1,721,047. The increase represents a 4.97% increase year over year. All right, thank you. Next, we'll talk about personnel. So personnel, we do have a ESOL coordinator position that is part of the budget for $99,450, and that's an add. At HCS, we have the lobby secretary. That's an add of $27,450. And at HMS, there's the add of $10,770, which is for stipends, overnight trips, homework club, miscellaneous clubs, and which represents $137,670 of the budget proposal. Next slide. For curriculum, we do have the add of $28,754 for Summer Learning Academy, as well as $7,000 for the late bus at HMS, for a total of $35,754. Next, on information technology, we have the add of $82,490 for replacing infrastructure hardware, and we also have a deletion of $9,345 for Zoom, as we'll utilize Google Meet, for a total increase of $73,145 for information technology. For athletics, there is the add of $8,500 that we have agreed to add a lacrosse team, boys and girls, for $8,500. Moving on to facilities. For the district, there's an add for a replacement of the truck with dump insert plow for $69,358. We, at HCS, we have the deletion of the oil tank removal from the previous year, as well as an add of $35,233 for adding mini splits into the library computer classroom. And then in HMS, we have a deletion from the previous of stage wall is complete. So we have a total decrease on the facilities budget by $83,439 from last year's budget, or the current year's budget. Next slide. So this slide shows the budget percent trends over the last 10 or so years. As we'll go through every one of them, but as you can see, there's been ups and downs, and the 4.97% is what we're being proposed for the 2024-2025 budget going to the voters. Go to the next one for default budget. So for the default budget, should the proposed budget be defeated, the default budget would be $36,144,676. As compared to our proposed budget, is a difference of about $235,000. And at this time, we'll open the public hearing on the budget for questions, comments from the public. And if anybody would like to speak, we do ask you must be a Hampstead resident and be prepared to state your full name and address for the record.
I live at 311 Emerson Avenue, Hampstead. I'm here tonight representing the Hampstead's Budget Committee. Historically, we've not provided any comment regarding the school budget, and we're only an advisory committee, so we really can't and do not intend to recommend anything. But we thought it was important, given the percentage of the budget in the town that is school-related, that we should at least review it and provide observations. I think to summarize it, it's fair to say that the practices you follow to examine and evaluate your budgets appear reasonable and prudent. It's fair to say that the budget situation you're in this year is the result of issues and actions that are really beyond the scope of what the school board can actually do anything about. Transportation, for example, being one of the major items, and the medical costs. So it's fair to say that the bulk of the increase is related to those specifically. And I think the town should, if they reflect on the details, they'll understand the budget has in fact been held firm, in fact reduced, in all of the other primary areas of budgeting. So it's fair to say that the Budget Committee has looked at this in some detail. We've evaluated it compared to other communities, and we believe that it appears to be a reasonable budget, and that the need for the increase is predominantly out of your control. So as for this year anyway, those are the findings. We will be issuing a written report that the public will have access to sometime within the next 2 weeks. We need to see all the final numbers in order to finish up our report for both the town and the school. So I just want to commend you on the work that you've done, and I think your administration has actually been very consistent in evaluating the financial matters, and should be commended. Thank you.
Would anybody else like to speak? All right. Okay.
Bob's tall. Lily Walsh, 63 Mill Shore Drive. I just had a question as for the ESOL coordinator. What languages are you seeing coming in with the kids that you obviously have the requirement for an ESOL coordinator?
Yep. Jeff, would you want to take that? I know we, due to the weather, we let some of the administrators not have to attend, but do you want to answer that right?
Yeah, if you give me a minute, I can get the exact answer for you. It's been interesting. It's one would think Spanish would be the language, but for others, give me a moment. Did you have another question?
No, that was it.
Okay.
German and Spanish.
Did you hear that, Lily? German and Spanish.
Certainly.
All right. Unless there's no other questions or comments, then we will now close the public hearing. We'll now go over the additional warrant articles. All right, next, Article 3, Capital Reserve. Shall the voters of Hampstead School District raise and appropriate up to $1 million to be placed in the school renovation, reconstruction, and capital improvement capital reserve fund established in 2006, with such amount to be transferred from the June 30th, 2024 unassigned fund balance surplus in excess of $150,000 available for transfer on July 1st, 2024. The first $150,000 of surplus will be returned to the taxpayers. The next $1 million of the surplus will be placed in capital reserve fund. Any additional surplus will be returned to the taxpayers. The funds from this article come from the 2023-2024 school budget surplus, not from additional taxes. Article 4, Hampstead Central School 2 Infill Classrooms Project. Shall the voters of Hampstead School District raise and appropriate the sum of up to $1.524 million for the purpose of the Hampstead Central School 2 Infill Classroom Projects to authorize the withdrawal of up to $1.524 million from the school renovation, reconstruction, and capital improvement capital reserve fund, which is a special revenue fund created for this purpose. Majority vote required. This project will be fully funded from the existing capital reserve balance with no additional tax impact. Article 5, accept reports. Shall the Hampstead School District accept reports of agents and auditors and committees as written in the 2023 annual report? Majority vote required. All right, and just as a reminder, deliberative session 1, which is on Tuesday, February 6, 2024, starts at 7 p.m. here at the Hampstead Middle School, 28 School Street, Hampstead, New Hampshire. All right, We're going to move to a special board meeting. The board will now meet to consider actions based on the public hearing regarding the budget and each of the articles. I will look for a motion to adjourn. Yeah, a second from Jason. All right. All approved? All right. So now we're going to move into our special board meeting. And try to see what time it is. It's 7:21 p.m. We'll call this special board meeting to order. And again, Melissa, would you mind taking the roll call for this special meeting?
Not at all. Jason Giard?
Here.
Erin Pellegrini?
Here.
David Smith?
Here.
Andy Cabarrus?
Here.
Carl Hubner? Thank you. Also seated at the board table, CFO and Business Administrator Jeff Dowd.
Thank you again, Melissa. All right. The purpose of this meeting is take recommendations, actions on the budget and each of the warrant articles with the exceptions of Article 1, which does not require a vote. Everyone does have a copy of the 2024 draft warrant in your board packets, stapled behind the agenda page. Please locate your copy now. All right, we're going to move on to the articles. Article 1, election of officers. There is no recommendation required, so we'll be moving on from that. Moving to Article 2, I will ask for a motion and discussion before we vote. Can I have a motion to recommend Article 2, the operating budget for this year's warrant? Second, do I have a second? Second by Aaron. Discussion on the operating budget. I think we've discussed it at length over the last 3-4 months. I do want to echo what was stated earlier by Mr. Weimer that, you know, there are a lot of things out of our control, and we have done quite a bit to bring it into our control. For those that haven't watched the budget meetings since, I'd say really, we started having discussions in September, started meeting in October. The original operating budget was coming in at just about 8%, and through the due diligence of many members from the administration, teachers, board members, and input from the public, it is a good thing to see that we brought it down to 4.9%, so taking out about 3% of what we were coming with at the beginning and by challenging. So I just commend everybody on the activities. And while we do wish we could control transportation, health insurance, and other such things, those are out of our control. So, but appreciate everybody's inputs to this. So looking for how many are in favor, please, by show of hands. All right, passes 5-0. All right, let's go back through here. Now we'll move on to Article 3. Again, this is on capital reserve. I'll ask for a motion to discussion before we vote. Can I have a motion to recommend Article 3, the capital reserve fund, as previewed during the last session?
Second.
Just by a hair, Mr. Cabarrus. All right. Discussions on the capital reserve? This one, I'll just state a couple things on this one. You know, it is something that we've been striving for over the last few years, and the way that we've been able to take care of the renovation, the way we're proposing to take care of the 2 classrooms. And as discussed over the last few meetings, we do need to continue to put money into that fund so that we can fund, you know, a number of activities that we foresee, not only for any future additions of classrooms. We know that we are very close to the end of life on our septic, which, you know, has been told it's going to be about $500,000, and other activities, you know, that we always want to make sure we have enough to cover for roofs, paving, and other large ticket items. It's hopefully those that have seen and have heard that there are ways that we could look at future of managing our budgets, if not better, or at least holding. And some of those are to make sure we have enough space so that we can support the growing population here, as well as the growing needs in student services and special education. So that's why, you know, we talk about raising money in putting in the capital reserve is to not only additional classrooms, but additional space for the growing population of students here, which ultimately can help to support leveling our budgets or, you know, managing them better in the future. So that's what the capital reserve is being, you know, targeted for, is for the future. Again, some of those larger ticket items for maintenance, but it's also for the added spaces. So with that being said, any other questions, comments besides that? All right, show of hands, all approved? All right, passes unanimously. All right, so now we're going to move on to Article 4, which is for the addition of the Hampstead Central School 2 infill classrooms project. I'll ask for a motion in discussion before a vote. Can I have a motion to recommend Article 4, the Hampstead Central School 2 infill classrooms project as presented during the public hearing? So moved by Mr. Hubner. Second by Aaron. Discussions.
I'll just kind of reiterate the fact that this is coming from the existing funds within our capital reserve, so no additional impact to the residents as far as property taxes go.
Yeah. And for those that haven't seen in the past on this one, we have confirmed with the project management and building team that if this is approved in March, the planning will start immediately. It's already been underway, but we would break ground as, you know, in the summer, and the 2 classrooms would be available in November to move in. So this would have an impact for this coming school year, that we would be able to take advantage of those classrooms. We wouldn't have to wait till the following school year. So about 2.5 months into the school year, those 2 classrooms would be available to move in as desired, and, you know, with the, let's say, which grades we're talking and targeting, be it special services or kindergarten or preschool or whatever we determine at that point is the most appropriate based on student population and growing needs. So with that being said, any other questions, comments? All right, all approved, show of hands. All right. Lastly, Article 5, accept the reports. So moving to Article 5, I'll ask for a motion and discussion before we vote. Can I have a motion to recommend Article 5, accepting reports as walked through in the public hearing? One from Aaron. Second from Mr. Giard. Any discussion on this one? You sure? Positive? All right. All approve, show of hands? All right, thank you. All right. I do not believe we have any other business. Again, I'm just going to remind for the 3rd time, we do have our deliberative session on Tuesday, February 6, 2024 at 7 p.m. here at the middle school, 28 School Street. And then we have our deliberative session 2, aka the voting day, which will be on the 12th of March from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., also here at the Hampstead Middle School, 28 School Street. With that said, I will adjourn the meeting at 7:29 p.m. on January 9th, 2024. Thank you very much.